Hello guys, and welcome to the next part of this video. Yesterday we looked at just dividing with no remainders, and we were dividing two digits by one single digit using the bus stop method, or the formal method as it's known. Today we're going to move on a little bit. We're still going to be dividing just two-digit numbers, but this time we are going to be getting remainders, which is tricky but not that tricky. I think if you've got yesterday you should find this quite easy, okay guys? So again, let's think really hard about these steps of success. They are useful, they do help us to work through it. So first of all, I can write the number sentence out into the bus stop method, nice and easy. I can divide the biggest column first and work down the columns. So we talked about this yesterday. That's different from adding, subtracting and multiplying in the column or the formal methods, because normally in those you start with your smallest column, your units or your tenths column, and then you work up to your biggest column. Here you work from the biggest column, so in this case ours will be tens, and then you carry over down to the units, okay? And then you might have to carry another bit, but that's how we're going to get our remainders. And then finally, I know if I have something left over, i.e. that's the last number is not perfectly divisible, that is a remainder, okay? So let's have a little look how we do this. So here's the success criteria. Have a quick look again, and I go get on with showing you how to do it. So let's start off. Let's go with 25 divided by 4. See, straight away, and this is something I want to emphasize, is with dividing, and that's why we did the array stuff first. I think dividing involves a lot more thinking and problem solving and working out what you need to do than adding, subtracting or multiplication. So why I said stop and look at it first, straight away I can probably see that there will be a remainder from this number sentence, because I'm dividing by 4 and I've got an odd number, so I know straight away I'm going to get a remainder, okay? So, but let's go on. So the first step is to draw out your numbers. There we go, there's my bus stop. 4 is what I'm dividing about, and the 25 goes in there. A good tip, and I didn't do this yesterday, I should have, is I leave a big gap, and then it means I can be a little bit neater. So first off, how many 4s go into 2? It doesn't go, does it? 4 does not go into 2. Don't get it the wrong way around and think it's 2s into 4s. How many times does 4 go into 2? It's smaller than 4, so it doesn't go. So I cross it out, I move the 2 to there, and I of course put a 0 up here, okay? And then I can do how many 4s go into 25s, and again, this is why at the beginning of the week we did lots of times tables. I'm now thinking, what times table in my 4s is closest to 25 but smaller? And this is what I mean about there's a lot of thinking involved. Which times table is closest but smaller? It has to be smaller. So I'm thinking there, if I'm not sure, I can, do 4, 8, 12, or I could even write it down if that helps me here. Yeah. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. So 24. So that's 4 times 6 equals 24. So it's 4 times 6 equals 24. So that means, remember, think about your arrays. Think about moving it around. So that's what I got. That's what I want. And that goes in there. But I have got 25, and it doesn't go in perfectly. So I got to 24. So now I would ask myself to work out the remainder. So I've put my little r in to work out the remainder. If I got to 24, like here, I've used the 24, and I've now got a remainder. I need to say, what will the remainder be? So I can do a little bit of subtracting. I could do it in my head if it's easier. I can write it down, like using a bit of column method like I've done here. So it's 5, take away 4. Again, remember, I'm doing that units first, unlike in this method. So that would be my remainder. Is a 1, because 25 take away 24 is 1, okay? So that's quite a nice example. I will stress it again, I think this method, more than any other kind of column method or formal method, involves a lot of thinking, problem solving, and making links, that learning power, okay? So let's try something a bit different now. Let's go for 93 divided by, and I'm going to go for 4 again, to be honest. So go. So again, I'm looking at it straight away, and I know there's going to be a remainder, because I know 4 is an even number. I know all the numbers in the 4 times table are even, and I know 93 is odd. So I know there will be a remainder, so I'm going to be aware of that. So I draw my bus stop out, what I'm dividing by goes in here. I'm going to leave a big gap so it all works out a little bit neater. How many times does 4 go into 9? Again, so I want the one that's closest and smaller than 9. So 4, 8, 12. 12 is higher, so I can't have that, so it must be the 8. So, and that's gone in 4, 8, so it's 2 jumps. That would be 2, but then I've got a number to carry. I've got 8, so 9 take away 8 would mean I carry over the 1. So now I've got 13, so now I'm doing 13 divided by 4. Okay, and just to break it down, you don't have to do this, sometimes easier just to break it down like this. So now I'm thinking 4, 8, 12, 16, not going to be 16, that's too high. So it must be 12 I want, so 12 is the closest one, but then I'm thinking about how many jumps. 4, 8, 12, so it's 3. And then I'd have a remainder of, what would I have a remainder of? So if it's 12 and I had 13, I'd quickly subtract it, 1.